Hello, beloved. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. I am Anne-Marie Graham, and today I will be reading chapter 9 of my book. Now, if today is your first day here, I beg you, go back and listen to the previous chapters. Everything will make so much more sense if you do, and you will want to share this book with a friend, a family, a neighbor, and with somebody very important. I'm very excited about this chapter. It's not my most favorite, but it's definitely one of my favorite. Like it is way up there on the list of my favorite chapter. So let us begin. Dreamer, purpose lost, purpose found. One girl's quest to restore humanity. Written by Anne-Marie Graham. Published June 2022. Chapter 9. Dreamer in the Valley of Promise. The girl felt refreshed from the inspiration that flowed from Grace's kind words in the letter. The timely encouragement provided the necessary strength and courage to continue toward the new world. Under any other circumstance, she would have turned back to Blue Rhapsody. The jewelry Grace decked her with was worth a fortune. That alone was enough to make a better life on the island. No one would blame her if she took the spoils and returned home. She had been through the unimaginable. Many people would have turned back, but something was pushing her to continue to the new world. Dreamer had, metaphorically, become a rat, and love was her cheese. She wanted to return to her ordinary life so badly, but the thought that she would meet her true love was enough motivation to continue the journey. Miles and miles of desert sand loomed dreadfully on the path ahead. Dreamer walked for what seemingly felt like endless days in the scorching hot environment. Every time she got hungry, she would open her bag to munch on a snack. Whenever she got thirsty, she would drink some water. Eyes front and continually marching forward. Her sole purpose was focus on her big dream, and the man would fill her and okay, eyes front and continually marching forward. Her sole purpose was focus on her big dream and the man that would fill her up. Each step trodden through the sand was one step closer to reaching the new world before the supplies ran out. She mustered the courage to step out of her comfort zone in search of her treasure. It was closer than ever. She could feel it in her bones. Time passed slowly. The girl's muscle ached to the core. Before long, the food and water were gone. Her skin boiled in the heat, and she had blisters all over her feet. But love was now her cheese. Love was her motivation, and she continued towards her cheese. Under such circumstances, who wouldn't think about giving up? But not Dreamer. Oh, most certainly not this girl. She was on fire with passion that exceeded the heat of the desert. Onward she drove, pushing through the pain. She had been through too much, experienced too much to turn back now. She was determined to get her cheese. Although the mind is often willing, sometimes the body is not. So it was with Dreamer. She continued walking in the hot desert, chasing her cheese until she fainted unconscious. Somehow, whether by luck, chance, or divine help, the girl woke up by a waterfall. A cool breeze whips across her face. rising up on one arm in a startled fashion to see what was going on. She encountered the soft eyes of the most handsome man she had ever seen. His thick blonde lashes encircled his deep blue eyes, making them quite welcoming to the girl. He was feverishly working a giant fern leaf to fan her. The short crop hair surrounding a clean-cut face on top of broad shoulders with chiseled arms. The desert sun had given his skin a slight tan, which glistened in the afternoon glow. Lines on his face told the story of a middle-aged colonel with wisdom and credibility. Everything about him arose the feeling of warmth within the girl. From her angle, she could also tell that they were about the same height. "Who are you?" she asked as she brushed aside the hair from her face. "My name is John," he said. "2 days ago, I found you in the valley and brought you here. You are the most beautiful thing I have ever laid my eyes on. You must have fainted from exhaustion. But all is well. I am happy to have found you when I did. I prepared dinner. You can have it whenever you are ready." The man touched her shoulder, and for the very first time, Dreamer felt as though electric current was running through her body. "This must be the feeling of euphoria," she sighed to herself. If she hadn't already been laying down, Dreamer might have fainted yet again. It was as though she no longer had control over her body. Looking up at the man, Dreamer saw her future. His eyes spoke the language of love. It was the language of the purpose giver, the language of the universe. He gazed upon the girl with eyes of love, kindness, leadership, and protection. She in turn looked at him with eyes of love, endearment, and passion. They gazed into each other's eyes for what seemed to be 2 long years, but was in reality a mere 2 minutes. It was a comfortable silence during this time, and they did not utter a word from their lips. The girl knew she was in the presence of her king, and she felt safe. "I was once married," the girl said to the man. "It is no bother to me," said John. "The past does not define a person. It is how they learn from their past and move into their future that counts. I accept you for who you are." "You don't understand, John. I have also made mistakes that I can't undo. I feel as though I must explain them to you," whispered Dreamer. "You have your entire life to tell me about them, sweet girl, for I can see your heart. I know you are genuine, and that's all I'll ever ask of you," responded John. "Throughout the years, I'll make you see why it didn't work out with anyone else." The girl closed her eyes in relief. He was the bone of her bones and flesh of her flesh. This was her twin flame. She could feel it in her heart. John was her soulmate from her recurring dream, and she had no doubt about it. He also carried a brown messenger bag. "Do you know where the new world is?" asked the girl. "Yes, I do," said the man. "It is at the end of the valley. Why do you want to go there?" "That is where my purpose is," said the girl. Interesting you should say that," replied John. "That is where I was born and raised. But I have taken a job in the Valley of Promise, and I won't be able to return until the end of my 4-year contract. Taking this job was not only about earning silver and gold. I too have done many things I am not proud of. And this time in the valley is allowing me to become a man of value. Several days pass, and with John's help, Dreamer regained her strength. She fell more and more in love with the man. John was not her life's purpose, but he was a part of her treasure. John was not her life's purpose, but he was a part of her treasure. He was basically like a reward for following her dreams. The girl loved him so much to the point where she did not want to leave the Valley of Promise. She wanted to stay there with him, become his wife, and start having children as soon as possible. Dreamer was excited to find true love, finally. She wished her grandpa Jacob could be with them at this particular moment. The girl was walking next to the waterfall, daydreaming of her newfound life in the valley. She decided in her heart to stay there with John and only move to the new world when John's contract was up. She was just about to go and tell him the plan when the purpose giver appeared before her in the form of a burning bush.
"Take off your shoes," bellowed the purpose giver. "The place you stand is holy ground."
The girl took off her shoes and bowed in surrender to the purpose giver. "Your handmaid is listening," said the girl.
"I want you to let go of John and fulfill your purpose,"
said the purpose giver. "What do you mean?" asked the girl. "You are the one who brought us together. He is my soulmate."
"Yes," said the purpose giver, "and I am now asking you to surrender him."
"No!" shouted the girl in anguish. "How can you do such a cruel thing to me? I love him and do not want to do that. I want to live here with him in the Valley of Promise. Please, I beg you, purpose giver, let me stay with my man." Dreamer sobbed uncontrollably at how unfair the purpose giver was. "Do I really have to let go of him?" she asked.
"No, you do not. Humans always have a choice. But if you do not go now, your happiness will be fleeting. John is not ready to be a husband to you. He looks ready, but he is not. You will have joy here for the next 3 years, but you both will become restless after a while. The flame of romance will begin to fade in your marriage. John will start messing around with other women in the valley. During that time, however, someone else would have taken your place to bring deliverance to the people of the new world. You will eventually become prosperous in the material things of this life, but you will not be fulfilled. Instead, as you get older and see other young nothings from Blue Rhapsody fulfilling their destiny, you will become resentful and bitter. Is that what you really want for yourself? Asked the purpose giver. Is that what you want for John? "I understand," said Dreamer, as she buried her head in her lap and started crying. "I know you before you were born," said the purpose giver. "I have also known John from the very beginning. So you must trust me with not just your today, but your tomorrow as well." The burning bush returned to normal, and Dreamer heard the purpose giver no more. The girl thought about it long and hard that night. The following morning, she knelt and prayed. "Purpose giver, I love John so very much. As you surely know, he is my heart's desire. But I let go of him nonetheless. I will not make the same mistake twice. Today I surrender
and I give you total control. Help me to trust the process. Amen. She then wrote in her journal, Dear Diary, the Valley of Promise is where many people give up and stop pursuing their big dream. Here is usually a place where we become comfortable. It is easy to settle in the Valley of Promise after going through the wilderness and the mess of the middle, facing adversity and lack of resources. If I stay here, I would forsake my life's purpose. I refuse to settle for crumbs when I can receive the abundance of the blessing. Onwards to the new world, I will go. Signed, Dreamer. She went to John's tent and told him she must leave for the new world. I am happy for you, said John. I know you were meant for greater things, and your time is now, not tomorrow or 3 years from now, but now. You were born for such a time as this. Moreover, true love does not keep one from pursuing their life's purpose. I won't keep you from it. If we are truly destined to be together, we will end up together in the end. If not, you will be okay just the same. The purpose giver brought this world into being by spoken words, and I do not doubt that. He is writing your story. Everything will work out for you, dreamer. It may not work out when you want it, but it will work out in your favor. Dreamer was furious at his response. She was no longer the sweet girl she was trained to be. Her emotions got the better of her. She shouted with exasperation, John, why are you saying this to me? You seem so eager to exclude yourself from my story. I do not want to hear that the purpose giver will work everything out for me. I want you to tell me he will work out everything for us. I want you to promise me that you will be in my future. Now I feel as though you were pushing me away. All this time you were giving me hope, and now you are taking away whatever hope I had in my heart. I thought you loved me, but clearly you do not. I do love you, responded John. You just want what you want, and you want it now. All I am telling you to do is trust the process. Go do what the purpose giver wants you to do. You said he wanted you to do something great. How will you know what is at the end of the story if you don't complete the chapters he wants? I'm going to read that over again. I do love you, responded John. You just want what you want, and you want it now. All I am telling you to do is trust the process. Go do what the purpose giver wants you to do. You said he wanted you to do something great. How will you know what is at the end of the story if you don't complete the chapters he wants? John leaned over to kiss the girl. She was broken-hearted. Her hope was deferred, and her heart was sick. But as his lips touched her forehead, she melted with love. He handed her a white rose, and Dreamer journeyed off into the direction of the new world. Thank you, guys. That was the end of chapter 9. Very beautiful chapter. This was where she encountered her true love in such a divine way, but it got to the point where the purpose giver told her to let go because John was not ready to be a husband to her, and so she had to let go, but just for a brief moment. So let us continue with the story to see what is ahead for Dreamer. Will she fulfill her purpose? Will she bring restoration to the people of the new world? Will she and her true love live happily ever after? Join me on our next episode to find out. Thank you. I am Anne Marie Graham. I love you. God bless you.